Official announcements have just dropped. And if you are still preparing your Italy study visa application using last year's rules, last year's financial figures, or last year's pre-enrollment understanding, you are building on a foundation that no longer exists. The Italian government has released binding new circulars for the 2026 to 2027 and 2027 to 2028 academic years. The numbers have changed, the procedures have changed, and the consequences of getting this wrong have become significantly more serious than most students realize. Pre-enrollment rejections are happening right now. Visa files are being returned. Bank statements that would have passed in 2025 are failing consulate checks in 2026. This is not speculation. This is the current reality of the Italy student visa process as of June 2026, and today every single critical update is going to be broken down so that your application is built on what is actually true today, not what was true 12 months ago. Welcome to John's Global Guide, where you get the real information before it costs you everything. Let's start immediately with the update that is causing the most disruption right now across applicants in South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. The financial requirement. The official MUR circular, now binding for the 2026 to 2027 and 2027 to 2028 academic years, sets the minimum annual subsistence requirement for international students at $10,179.85. Let that number land, €10,179 per year. This is not a blog estimate. This is not an agency figure. This comes directly from the interministerial circular issued by Italy's Ministry of University and Research in coordination with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of the Interior. It is the official binding number, and it represents a significant increase from the $6,000 range that many students were quoting and preparing for as recently as last year. Now here is where it becomes important to understand the full picture. The circular also makes clear that funds must come from lawful and traceable sources. Financial support can come from recognized Italian institutions, universities, local governments, or foreign institutions considered reliable by the Italian diplomatic mission. However, simply applying for a scholarship or being eligible for a regional scholarship will not be counted as financial proof unless the student has an explicit confirmation that the scholarship has been awarded. This is the detail that is catching students off guard. Saying you have applied for a DSU scholarship is not proof of funds. Saying you are eligible is not proof. An award letter confirming the scholarship has been granted. That is proof. Everything else is documentation of a hope, not a financial guarantee. For your Italian student visa application, you must provide official bank statements from the past 3 to 6 months, clearly showing your account balance and transaction history. Those statements need to reflect consistency. They need to show a pattern. And critically, the updated procedures make clear that admission or pre-enrollment validation by an Italian university does not guarantee a visa appointment or visa approval. The final decision on a study visa remains with the relevant Italian embassy or consulate, which can also assess the student's migration risk, socioeconomic background, previous education, and the link between past studies and the chosen course in Italy. The consulate is not just checking your numbers, they are evaluating your profile, your academic background, your reasons for choosing Italy, the coherence between what you studied before and what you are applying to study now. All of it is being reviewed with more scrutiny than ever before in 2026. Now let's talk about pre-enrollment, because this is the procedural gate that everything else depends on, and the rules around it have been updated in ways that many students have not read carefully enough. Universitaly, the official portal of Italy's Ministry of University and Research, is the only pre-enrollment channel recognized by Italian authorities. It is not optional, not replaceable by a university portal, and not a formality. Without completing pre-enrollment on Universitaly, your visa process cannot begin. This is not a bureaucratic suggestion. It is a hard requirement. There is no parallel pathway, no consulate workaround, no university direct submission that substitutes for it. Every non-EU student requiring a visa to study in Italy must go through Universitaly, full stop. For the 2026 to 2027 academic year, the University of Turin has set the Universitaly pre-enrollment deadline at July 15th, 2026. And this is the pattern across the Italian university system. Each year, the Universitaly portal opens between April and May, allowing non-EU students to upload their documents and begin the mandatory pre-enrollment procedure. But here is what most students miss entirely. The Universitaly portal deadline is the outer limit. Individual universities set their own internal deadlines for validating pre-enrollment applications, and those internal deadlines are frequently earlier, sometimes significantly earlier, than the portal's outer limit. Each university sets its own internal deadline for non-EU visa applicants, often earlier than the Universitaly portal's outer limit. Students must check their specific university's admissions page. If you wait until the last week before the portal closes to submit your application, and your university's internal validation deadline was 3 weeks earlier, your pre-enrollment will not be validated. And without validation, the visa process does not proceed. Now, which students can pre-enroll? Students who have received an official offer letter or an official acceptance email from their university can go directly to Universally, register, and begin their pre-enrollment application. They upload the offer letter, complete the required fields, attach the supporting documents, and submit. But what about students who have not yet received admission? This is the question that fills the comments section of every Italy-related video right now, and the answer is more nuanced than most people realize. Before booking a visa appointment, students must secure their university place. Many English-taught programs in Italy accept applications between January and April for the following academic year. Once an official acceptance or pre-enrollment confirmation letter is received, the student can proceed with the Universally pre-enrollment process. So if you have not received an acceptance letter yet, the priority right now is not the Universally portal. The priority is your university application. Go to the official website of the institutions you are targeting. Look for the How to Apply section. Review the entry requirements for your specific course. Submit your application materials and wait for the acceptance confirmation before attempting Universally pre-enrollment. There is, however, a specific category of university and program that operates differently. Several Italian institutions, including the University of Salerno, the University of Naples Parthenope, and the University of Naples Federico II, allow what is known as direct pre-enrollment for certain programs. Direct pre-enrollment means that you fill out your application directly on the Universally portal without a prior offer letter in hand, and the university reviews your application from within the system and responds there. The portal functions as both the application channel and the pre-enrollment channel simultaneously. But this mechanism is not available everywhere, and not available for all programs, even at the universities that support it. The specific programs eligible for direct pre-enrollment are listed on each university's official website under their international student admission pages. Check there first. Do not assume that because one university allows direct pre-enrollment in one faculty, the same applies to another faculty or another institution. Students frequently ask whether they can update or switch their pre-enrollment after submitting it, whether they can change the university or program. The answer depends on the stage your application has reached and the specific policies of the institutions involved. The key principle to understand is that once a pre-enrollment has been validated by a university, you should treat it as a binding administrative step. Any changes after validation create procedural complications that can delay your entire timeline. Get the university and program decision right before you submit. All pre-enrollment applications for the Universally 2026 to 2027 cycle must be submitted exclusively via universally.it. No alternative submission channels are recognized by Italian authorities. Missing the mandatory deadlines does not simply result in a delay. It triggers automatic visa revocation and immediate notification to the Questura. That is how serious the procedural compliance requirement has become in 2026. This is not a system that forgives late submissions with a gentle reminder. Missing the deadline shuts the entire pathway down. One more critical pre-enrollment detail that is causing real problems for students right now. When downloading your Universally pre-enrollment summary, ensure you download the correct form that does not indicate the status non-immatricolato. If this status appears on your documentation, your application is effectively invalid. This is a technical error inside the portal that students are submitting to consulates without realizing the problem. The consulate officer receives a document marked invalid, and the application is rejected on that basis alone, not because of the student's finances, not because of their academic profile, but because of a portal status indicator that the student never noticed. Check every document you download from Universally before it goes anywhere near a consulate file. Now let's talk about the part of this video that most Italy content creators are not giving enough attention to in 2026, the scholarship ecosystem. Because Italy is not just an affordable study destination. For students who know where to look and apply early enough, Italy is a genuinely fundable study destination. The Italian government scholarship offered by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the MOACI scholarship, provides recipients with a total amount of $10,800 dispersed in 3 installments into an Italian bank account in the student's name. Grantees are also covered by health and medical insurance for the entire duration of the grant, and may be exempted from tuition fees depending on the policy of the receiving institution. €10,800 in direct financial support, plus health coverage, plus potential tuition exemption. For a program at a public Italian university, the package covers the vast majority of your annual costs. The MACI scholarships support bachelor's, master's, PhD, and AFAM students in study, research, training, and Italian language and cultural programs at Italian public or legally recognized private institutions. And the MACI scholarship is not the only option. Italy's regional governments are generous providers of DSU scholarships, Diritto allo Studio Universitario grants, which are mostly need-based and cover tuition fees, accommodation, meals, and sometimes travel costs. Edisu Piemonte, covering students in Turin and surrounding universities, opens applications from late July to early September 2026. Ergo Emilia-Romagna, supporting students in Bologna and across the region, opens July through September 2026. DSU Toscana, covering Tuscany, opens from mid-July to early September 2026. These regional DSU scholarships are among the most systematically underutilized funding sources in the international student community. Students researching Italy look at MACI, find the deadline has passed, and assume no scholarship option remains. Meanwhile, the regional DSU applications are still open, still funded, and still going to students who know they exist and apply on time. In 2026, international students can also apply for university-specific scholarships at institutions including the University of Bologna, University of Padua, Sapienza, University of Rome, and Politecnico di Milano. These scholarships are awarded based on academic merit, financial need, or a combination of both. The University of Bologna, in particular, the oldest university in the world, operating for over 9 centuries, has a dedicated scholarship program for international students that includes both tuition waivers and monthly allowances. The quality of institutions offering these funded opportunities is not a compromise. These are world-ranked research universities with global academic reputations. The scholarship opportunity at a world-class Italian institution is real, and it is accessible to students who start their applications early and prepare their documents correctly. The full picture of Italy in June 2026 looks like this. The financial requirement has increased to $10,179.85 annually under the new official MUR circular, and the funds must be traceable and authentic. No sudden deposits, no pending scholarship applications that haven't been confirmed. Pre-enrollment on Universatali is mandatory, non-negotiable, and operates on deadlines that are harder than they have ever been. Direct pre-enrollment is possible for specific programs at specific universities and requires checking each institution's official portal directly. The scholarship ecosystem, through MACI, regional DSU programs, and university-specific awards, offers genuine funding pathways for students who engage with the process early and strategically. Starting your document preparation at least 3 to 4 months before your intended enrollment date is strongly recommended. Missing even one document can result in significant processing delays. That is not a guideline. In 2026, it is the minimum viable preparation timeline. The students who treat it as a suggestion are the students who end up in the rejection statistics that everyone else reads as a warning. Italy is still one of the most powerful study destinations available to international students in 2026. Academically credible, financially accessible relative to the UK, the US, or Australia, culturally irreplaceable, and home to a scholarship system that most competitors simply do not offer at the same scale. But the path to getting there has become more precise, more document-intensive, and less forgiving of last-minute preparation than at any point in recent memory. Know the rules exactly as they stand today. Prepare your documents to the standard that 2026 actually requires. Apply early enough that problems can be fixed before they become rejections. That is the difference between an Italy story that begins in September and one that never begins at all.